My name is Julianne, and I'm proud to be an alcoholic. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I started using alcohol and drugs when I was 17. I'm now 39. Over 19 years ago, I overcame a meth addiction as well as cocaine and heroin cold turkey. I figured if I could do that, then I could handle alcohol. Thus began a hellish struggle with it over half my life. I've been to rehab twice, been arrested around 12 times, and have 3 DUIs. I'm currently facing more jail time for alcohol-related crimes. However, I was able to get myself sober, not to prevent punishment from the law, but because I knew I was going to die if I didn't. I have late-stage alcoholism, liver damage, and heart problems because of my choices. I realized that being depressed and having trauma was no excuse. I'm accountable for my feelings. I'm the one who decides if I'm hurt or not. Sure, other people can say or do whatever they want, but it's my responsibility how it makes me feel. The only way I can have the self-respect to do that is by honoring my mind and body. I felt so much worse when I would drink because I knew I was abusing myself far more than anyone from my past ever had, but wouldn't face the truth. When I got sober last month, I went through the worst detox of my entire life, shaking and sweating on the couch for a week, unable to eat, sleep, shower, or function. Alcoholics were coming over to check on me, and my psychiatrist and addiction counselor were calling me at home, telling me to get my ass to the hospital or I would die. I decided if I was going to die, I would just do it at home with my cats. I completely surrendered and decided if I lived, I would not take what time I have left on this planet for granted. It'll all be over soon enough for everyone anyway. 90 years is a short time. Why waste it? Literally. I've been in AA for 21 years. Today, I have 35 days sober, and this group so kindly gifted me a solid gold 1-month coin, much like the 1-year ones. I didn't even know they made nice coins for 1 month. But to me, this is the most powerful month of my entire journey through recovery. This month, I did sobriety for myself and no one else. I decided to take ownership over my emotions so they wouldn't become my speech, my actions, and then my personality. I go to outpatient treatment 6 days a week as well as daily AA, sometimes twice a day. I read a variety of material about recovery from various perspectives so I can apply it to the big book in my own understanding. I found out I was drinking not to change the way I felt or to cover anything up, but because there was simply a hole inside of me that I was trying to drown with alcohol, but that never could completely satisfy me. A lot of people suggested I find a hobby to fill that hole, but nothing I liked seemed to matter anymore. One day in outpatient, my counselor explained that we can't pinpoint exactly why alcohol does what it does to the body because it's the only drug that affects all of our organs at once. She showed a video that explained it's not the substance we're addicted to, whether it be shopping, sex, drugs, or alcohol. It's about the instant gratification that we get from whatever we choose to use. I realized very quickly that there are so many healthy gratification options. I'm a massage therapist, and massage is a great thing to do for yourself with instant relief. Also, there's hot tubs, go-karts, pinball, indoor skydiving, rock climbing, yoga, meditation, music, drinking a delicious smoothie, petting an animal, making art. The list is literally endless. Anything positive that would suck to be wasted is on the table, and I allow myself to have a little ice cream in doses. I have my own guilty pleasures, and I still make poor choices sometimes, but now I'm sober enough to grow from them. 10 years ago, I fell through a ceiling onto my head and suffered a traumatic brain injury. I was very drunk at the time while taking photos at a construction site for a community garden I had built. I cracked my skull, burst my eardrum, and broke several bones in my chest, almost breaking my neck and leaving me paralyzed. I had to relearn how to walk, talk, eat, and go to the bathroom all over again. You think this would have stopped my drinking, but instead, only a few months later, I got my first DUI. After that, I was able to get 15 months sober twice, but because I did it for probation and to please my partner, also because I never became a sponsor, it didn't quite stick. I've worked the 12 steps to my understanding with the help of a sponsor, but even that didn't give me the spiritual awakening I sought. Somehow now, the ability to pull myself out of that depression and face my inadequacies has given me the strength to pursue a powerful future through a stable present. After my brain injury, I went back to school for computer science and also got another degree in film and graphic design. I wasn't putting any of these skills to use because I was drinking so much. This year had a lot of intense experiences. I lost my partner of 13 years as well as our house. My mom died and I dropped $8,000 on rehab. Despite my drinking, I graduated in June with honors. I lied to myself about being a functional alcoholic. I got my second DUI earlier this year in August. When the police found me, I had been running from them for about 7 minutes, ran 2 red lights, and took out an entire mailbox as well as the whole side of my SUV. I was covered in dried blood when the police pulled me out. but it wasn't from being struck in the car. It was from being so blackout drunk at home that I fell multiple times and had to get stitches in my head later that day. When the police took me to the hospital, my blood alcohol level was .4. When I got home from the hospital, there was blood all over the walls, puke all over the floor, broken glass everywhere, and over 40 bottles of Fireball and wine scattered all over my apartment. I lied to myself, saying, well, at least it wasn't straight liquor. If I buy less than this, then I'll be okay in the future. I can control it. Fucking no, you can't, Julianne. I went to the hospital over 10 times this year for alcohol-related incidents, such as internal bleeding, extremely high blood pressure, and a heart rate that felt like I was going to explode, on top of all the times I went just for alcohol poisoning. It got to a point where I would wake up in the hospital and check to see if I was in handcuffs or not. I received a sentence of 48 days in jail for the second DUI, which was nothing compared to the longer stays I endured in Texas jails, so I didn't take it seriously. They put me on probation again for 2 years and suspended my driver's license. 4 days into probation, I was drunk again and stupid enough to drive to a store that I knew wouldn't sell me alcohol because I was already wasted, at 2 p.m. no less, and I tried to buy some anyway. Of course, they called the cops as I drove away. I sideswiped another vehicle ever so lightly, but enough for the police to charge me with a hit and run, and for the person I hit to file an injury claim against me. This could potentially result in a felony assault charge, but I can't even let my mind go there. I know I might be going back to jail, but that stress didn't break me, because the gravity of my weakness to alcohol was far scarier. The only thing that mattered was how the fuck do I stay sober before I kill somebody. If this third DUI hadn't happened, I would still be drinking. They took me to jail in my pajamas and slippers with puke in my hair. I was just laying on the cold cement thinking to myself, Julianne, are you ever going to stop digging? Can this please be your bottom, for God's sake? This was the point I realized I was hurting far more than myself. I was affecting the public, my cats, and for so long the people who loved me, people I couldn't appreciate because I didn't love myself. And that's a loaded term, self-love. To me, it means I can look myself in the eye in the mirror and know that even if I'm not doing my very best, I'm looking for how to be. All I can ask of myself is 1 minute at a time. After this last stay in jail with the prospect of serving more time, I started talking about my situation with almost everyone I encountered. The blatant honesty and vulnerability made me feel empowered, anything but powerless. I know that once I take a drink, I am powerless over my subsequent choices, so it is my absolute responsibility to do everything I can to deter myself from consuming alcohol. But instead of just avoiding it, I'm creating a life so full and meaningful that drinking doesn't even fit into my schedule. The point is, I ended up meeting a lot of people with felonies and more DUIs than I have, most of whom are in recovery. These were very respectable people. I used that energy to begin volunteering job preparation services with felons in recovery as part of my service work. It's something I am very educated about and feel confident providing. It keeps me sober, humble, and ever the student as I learn just as much from them. I have an interesting relationship with Alcoholics Anonymous. I've been in the program for 21 years, and I tend to think I know more than I should. I'm working on it. But if anything, I'm a walking, talking warning sign. I hope I can inspire at least one person not to take it as far as I did. I know you're not supposed to do AA your way, but I had to find my own understanding of what AA could do for me and what I could do for it. Not giving back was a huge part of why I wasn't able to stay sober. It's just my opinion, and I don't want to influence anyone negatively. But if I don't want to do something, if it's not at my core, I'm not going to be successful at it. I don't like pouring coffee, managing the phone list, or being the greeter. These jobs feel like they could be performed by a more willing person. I feel I have unique capabilities to offer people in recovery. So if I can't follow the rules, then I'm going to find a way to contribute authentically. It's extremely humbling, and I believe everyone needs to find their own independence apart from AA. In my opinion, it can be easy to think you're a victim because alcoholism is a disease. Whether it is or isn't doesn't matter to me. What it definitely is not is an excuse. It doesn't matter why you were drinking or why you think you were drinking. Everyone has trauma. Everyone has problems. Alcoholics and addicts are all the same in so many ways. You're not special, and no one is coming to save you. You have to tie your cape on tight and be your own goddamn hero. This is the only way you'll be content, and it's the only way you'll be sober. Radical accountability and community are the solutions for addiction. But the community part, you have to trust yourself enough to build that. No one can do it for you. Listen in meetings for the voices that speak to you. Don't think because you're not getting enough out of the reading that the meeting is a waste. Sometimes the things we read over and over don't have meaning until the right time in life. I'm the first to say I'm not a huge fan of the big book. But the longer I've been in recovery, the more those stories start to make sense to me as life reveals itself. So I urge you to find your own ways of making AA work for you, or find a different program, or combine it with other therapies that resonate with you. For me, I also attend emotional sobriety and mindfulness classes. These help me gain power over my mind. Something new I've been doing, which has helped a lot, is identifying my triggers and planning for them before they become cravings. By the time I'm having a craving, it's often too late. If I know I'm heading into a stressful event or holiday, I check in with my sponsor ahead of time, not because I'm having a craving, but because I think it's productive to stay proactive. That's the opposite of being a victim. Cravings don't just happen to you. You're just not filling the void with things that actually complete you instead of destroy you. Don't compare yourself to normies who seem to be happy drugs. That doesn't matter. Compatibility isn't a pissing contest. Find the pieces of people you can relate to in recovery, because you can't and shouldn't do this alone. The burden may rest on your shoulders, but look at the end of each hand. You'll see others holding on to you as you walk. You're not broken. In Japan, when a cup or bowl crashes to the ground, they put the pieces back together with gold, making the item stronger and more beautiful. They believe our scars and wounds make us better people. Every flaw is worth celebrating because it's another opportunity to grow and learn. If hard things didn't happen, we'd have no motivation to change. We just keep learning the same lesson harder and harder each time until we finally get it. It took me 21 years to figure out why I was drinking. The truth is, I didn't want to know. I wanted someone to spoon-feed me the answer. But that's not how this program works. Today in sobriety, I have a successful massage practice which gives me instant purpose. I'm working on a second business for multimedia, both of which I absolutely love. I had to accept that hobbies weren't enough for me. I need to feel like I'm contributing to others as well as my future. These things calm my anxiety and annihilate my depression. Accountability for my feelings is a high I never had while being wasted. This program is meant to be internalized by each person so we can bring our unique understanding together and support each other's differences while celebrating shared sobriety. No one way is right. All that matters is you find a way to stay sober that doesn't feel like a punishment and empowers you more than it holds you back. You might be taking one substance out of your life, but you're inviting endless possibilities you'd never be capable of with alcohol in hand. If anyone here would like a friend in recovery, I'm more than happy to connect. Thank you for all your support you've given me. Without this group, I might have ended up resenting AA for good. I learned that if I don't like a meeting, then find another one. Sponsor isn't a good fit? Find another one. Community has been scientifically proven to be the solution for addiction. Remember, relapse isn't failure. It's part of learning how to stay sober for good. Please be honest about what's missing in your life. Radical accountability is the key to discovering your true potential. Don't let the holidays be a reason to drink or use. This is the most social time of year for people in recovery. It's easier to isolate and feel sorry for yourself, but that's when you decide if you're going to be the victim or the hero of your own story. No one is coming to save you. Tie your cape on tighter and be that fucking hero. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a blessed Christmas and an even better year ahead. We all deserve it.